All right, welcome to episode number 7 of the Zero to Payout series. And today we had a pretty good day. We ended up catching a W trade as well as a break even, so I will go through that in a minute. But as always, I have the calendar pulled up for you guys. I made $469 today. You'll see there was a total of 3 trades. The account balance is now right at $2,000. We still need one more winning day, which is actually good because I have a lot of people ask me about how I go about scalping winning days, which is just hitting a day for $150 plus. So that'll be good. We'll do a video on that. I'll go through how I go about it. So that should be fantastic. But as always, let's go through the trades today. I have them pulled up on TradingView. We'll go through, first of all, the bias for the day because it was a really good bias, very clear. And then I'll go through the first break even I took, and then we'll go to the winning trade. So going into the morning, very, very, very clean bias. We had an SMT at these hourly highs, this large 1 hour displacement candle here, which created this bearish fair value gap, and then price pre-market was respecting this fair value gap, and overall it's just beautiful, beautiful model to the downside. So let's go into replay if it'll let me do this. So this is right here is where price was about to open up. And the good thing about today is we not only had bearish structure on the higher time frame, but also if you look at the 1 hour, the draws we had were super, super clear. So we had this wick here and then this wick down here, but obviously the higher probability draw is going to be the closest draw. So I'm aiming for this wick. Now, the cool thing about this draw was at 8:06, I think is what time it was. Here, Trump must have said some shit, per usual lately, and we had this massive data candle, which created a data low that never got taken by NQ or ES. And this created relative equal lows with this already good hourly low here. So in my opinion, this went from a good draw to a very, very good draw. And with the bearish structure, higher time frame, I was extremely confident that this draw was going to get hit. So what do I want to see? I want to see some sort of morning manipulation. Now we are respecting a 1 hour gap, so we don't have to go out and sweep this high, but if I can get some type of manipulation to the upside showing that price doesn't want to go any higher before taking this draw, then that would be great. So the first candle that we have comes up and we take out that high, which created an SMT. So at this point, we have now swept out the high, the morning manipulation has happened, and because we have an SMT, NQ took out this high, ES did not take out this high. So ES is the weaker asset here. So we have an SMT at this high time frame, very bearish. ES was also respecting a 1 hour bearish gap. The assets were very aligned today. And what I noticed after this SMT is we had this large displacement candle down, which was very, very nice. I liked it a lot. But I don't want to enter the position here because I'm not 100% sure if we're going to put in this high and hold this high. I'm not sure if price really wants to displace 20 points on ES, which is quite a bit of points for ES. I want secondary confirmation that this SMT is going to hold. So I'm looking for some type of retrace and then a flip for me to really validate that this SMT is doing its job. So after this SMT is put in, price displaces lower. We get this retrace here. I notice that price forms a small, tiny 1 minute gap here. So even though that gap is tiny, it still makes sense that if this gap holds and we displace lower, then the SMT is doing its job. I'm putting more weight on the SMT rather than this tiny 1 minute gap. I see NQ is the stronger asset because we're blowing past this 1 minute gap, but we're still holding this area. So NQ taps this 1 minute gap. ES does not tap the 1 minute gap, but we get this flip lower. And to me, regardless if we didn't barely tap this fair value gap here, because we tapped it on NQ and still had the flip lower, that is more than enough confirmation for me to realize that this SMT is doing its job, aligning that with the high time frame bias. This is a A+ trade. Beautiful, beautiful trade. So I entered in, actually, to be honest, I don't remember where I entered the ES trade. So I know it's towards the bottom of this candle. Here I have my stop at this pivot high, and then my take profit was just the closest draw available, which was this data low that I wanted NQ to take as well because we had those relative equal lows that were created from this data low. So as you can see, I did add to the position. So price comes down and we start to kind of edge this TP right here, which I didn't really like. This candle wick right here is my break-even point, by the way. So that was really solid break-even point. And the reason why I added to this position, first of all, I wanted to make the most out of this position, because when price comes all the way down here, we were 2 points from my take profit. I do not expect price to come back up and stop me out at break even and then also hit the draw. So I wanted to see, is there any 1 minute gaps where price could retrace to real quick and then we could still go hit the draw and I get a pretty solid add. So I look at NQ, it was this 1 minute gap here that I wanted to see it respected and price go lower. So when I saw NQ start to get just as bearish as ES, we tapped into this gap, we were respecting it and going lower with this candle. So I added on ES, but this was because of NQ. I entered, this is the same exact candle as the NQ candle I was just showing you. When this candle displaced lower and we respected that 1 minute gap on NQ, I added to the position. I was obviously break even at this point, and I think my average fill went down to somewhere around here. It actually will say on the screen, 612.75. Yeah, so right around there. Unfortunately, I got stopped at break even. So a little bit unfortunate, it sucks when you get that close to TP, and this trade would have hit for like 750 on the account, something like that. So it would have been a much better trade, but if your system tells you to go break even, then you have to go break even. It's not the end of the world. It would have been nice, but what I knew is that those lows, those relative equal lows on NQ were still intact, and NQ was starting to become the weaker asset. So then after this, I go over to NQ, and I see that price has a deep retrace up, and I'm going to take the executions off now. I have this one correct. So we don't just get a retrace to this 1 minute gap, we get a deep retrace, and I don't even think there was a 5 minute, to be honest with you. No, there wasn't. But when the draw is that clear, that dumb clear, and we get this deep retrace with a flip, I am taking that every single time. And you'll notice here, I had my take profit extended past the draw to get a 1-to-1, which I always say, don't do that shit. However, in this case, to me, it made all the sense in the world. The draw was super clear. We had one last retrace, literally an A+ continuation model besides the fact that we didn't tap a gap doing it. I mean, this was beautiful. And some people would shorten up their stop in order to get a 1-to-1. Don't do that shit. At least if you're gonna do it and it's dumb clear, make sure your stop is protected. Like that, there's never a reason to shorten your stop. Extending the TP, I can understand it in some cases like this, but never ever shorten your stop. Don't do that shit, because then price can stop you out, still go in your favor. The stop loss holds more value than the take profit, okay? So just remember that when it comes to the entry model. But this trade, very, very low cortisol. There was not a tick of drawdown here. I mean, maybe right here, but this was beautiful. I mean, this trade smacked. It actually went a lot lower. If you would have held to this draw, you probably would have just got trailed out or whatever. But regardless, still, I'm happy I took this trade. I'm happy I got the chance for a re-entry. I was not sized as heavy as I wanted to be. I think this was only risking, it was a 1-to-1, so I was risking a little bit under 500. Now, going back to the account, like I said earlier, we just need one more winning day to get that payout. So the next episode, I will show you guys how I go about scalping winning days. So that'll be really cool. I know a lot of you guys asked me about that. But yeah, we hit that 2K balance, one more day. So very happy with how this series has gone. I think it's a very good guide on how a beginner should manage risk and whatnot when trying to get that first payout. I think this was fantastic. So as always, I have the link to join my free Discord. That's going to be in the description of this video. I post my bias every single day, exactly what I'm looking for, the draw and liquidity. I review any trades you guys send in, and it's all completely free. So definitely go join up. The community would love to have you, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace out.